Hello and welcome to From Impossible to Inevitable. I am your host, Megan Bauer. Thank you so much for joining me today and pushing play on today's episode. This is episode 166, and today I'm so excited to chat with you about becoming. Now, if you've listened to the last few episodes, you have heard my little intro telling you about my new program to discover and establish a transformative habit. And while we're not really going to talk about that today, I wanted to talk about what the actual point of the whole thing is, and that is becoming. We are becoming all of the time. 100% of the time, we are on this path of becoming. We usually only recognize it when we look back on, the past years or whatever, and, things have happened or we've made things happen, and we can see our growth. We can see our development. We can see how we have become who we are today. The thing is that normally, we don't look forward and become intentionally. We don't look forward and figure out and decide who we are becoming. But we do this. I'm just saying it's not an all of the time thing. So, if you're going to change a profession, like somebody who's going to go into nursing, they're going to become a nurse. So then there's this very clear path of becoming a nurse or becoming a hairstylist or having this profession or whatever, that profession. So we become things intentionally, we do. And I don't feel like it's very common to decide who we want to be as a person and become that person intentionally. And this is actually the whole entire point of my program. And I take you through it by way of a transformative habit. That's kind of the gateway to becoming this person, this version of you. But it starts with this critical piece of, who do you want to become? Who do you want to be? And it's very interesting as I've posed this question to friends and to family, and their response is a little bit just like, I don't know. I haven't thought about it, or I need to think about that, or what are you even saying? This is such a critical piece to me. And it's not really surprising to me that it's not something that we just know off the top of our heads, because it took me a while to figure this out too. It took years of personal development study to realize how critical having a vision of not just your life, but really of who you want to be. This is such a critical piece to creation, to creating what it is that you want to create, to living the life that you want to live. Knowing who that version of you is such a critical piece that isn't really talked about. We talk about it with kids, right? We're like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Which is the wrong question, because they're not defined by their career. I feel like we should say, like, what do you want to do when you grow up? Not who do you want. But anyways, doesn't matter. But we talk about it with kids. We're like, where would you like your life to go? And then after college, or, after they get settled into a life, we stop talking about it. We stop asking, what's your life? What do you want to keep doing? What do you want to do? Like, what's the next thing? And I think I've shared on here before that I was talking with a friend several weeks ago, and we were talking about changes in our lives, and changes are really scary. And thinking, like, the thought of being in the exact same place, being the exact same person, really, in 5 years from now as I am now is terrifying. Like, of course I want to grow. Of course I want to progress. Of course I want to develop. Like, of course. I want to do more. I want to be more. I want to have more of an impact. I want to expand. I want to experience more. And of course, as you experience more, that adds to you who you are, that adds to who your perspective. And you just keep learning and growing and developing and becoming someone else. And, you'll have experiences and all of these things that just show up in your life. And you're going to become through those experiences anyway. Like you are going to become someone else anyway. Think back at the version of you 20 years ago, right? Or 10 years ago. 20 years ago is going to be like a really stark difference. In 10 years, it depends on what you've done with the time, to be honest, on how much of a difference it is. But the more focused in that you can get on who you want to become, the more you can guide this path of becoming to actually becoming that person. Because I think we've all had these wake up calls in our life where we're just like, how did I become the person who is, like, I've had this in my life where I'm like, how am I 30 pounds overweight and hating what I do every day and hating this, that, and the other? Like, how did I get here? Like, what the crap? Well, throughout all of that time, I didn't intentionally become. I was probably numbing out on, social media or just avoiding everything. I was probably just going through the motions, going with the flow, just waking up, doing whatever the day called, going to bed, waking up and doing it all over again. Not really intentionally directing my life, which is a privilege that we all get. We can all intentionally direct our lives. And of course, we've got parameters, we've got situations and circumstances that we have to navigate and that we have to work through. I'm not saying that it's easy, because it's totally not. I'm saying that we get to do it, we get to figure it out, and we get to create it. There's that great saying, where there's a will, there's a way. Well, the other side is true. If you don't want it, if you don't have that will to create it, then you will see nothing but roadblocks. You will see all of the problems and you won't persevere through them because you don't really have the will. And here's another piece to that. You can have the will without having the belief. And you need both. You need to also believe that there is a solution, that there is a way through it or around it or above it or beneath it or whatever it is. You have to believe that there is a path, that there is a solution, and that you just have to find it. Because if you don't believe, your willpower has nothing to channel to. It doesn't have anywhere to go. It's like, great, I really, really, really want this, but instead of figuring it out, I'm going to sit on the couch. And that doesn't get you anywhere either. So you need both. Really, you need the three things, right? You need the vision. You need to know where you're going. You need to really want to get there. And you need to believe you can get there. So really, you need the three things. And honestly, as simple as that sounds, that's difficult. It's difficult because we've spent the majority of our lives just kind of going with it, right? We're just going on. We're just going forward. We'll make these changes here and there. We'll do this, we'll do that. But we don't intentionally become as a normal thing, I feel like, in society. And I feel like the problem starts with not even knowing what we want. We don't even know. Have you ever been to Cheesecake Factory, right? I was there recently. You go to Cheesecake Factory, they have like an 18-page menu, right? There's like over 150 things on their menu, which is absolutely insane. You don't walk into Cheesecake Factory with absolutely no idea of what you want. You will be looking at that menu forever, flipping back and forth. Well, maybe I want Chinese. Well, maybe I want a burger. Well, maybe I want pasta. and it's kind of like chaotic. I don't like going to Cheesecake Factory simply for that reason because it's like I go there and then I'm just like I have all of these choices and I don't even know. And I'm just like, "Ah, screw it. I'm not even that hungry." But I get it. It's like a really easy place to anyway, it doesn't matter. So, what I'm bringing that up for is we don't even know. So, how can you pick something off the menu when you don't even know what you want? And life is like that. There is just like all of these options. As I talk to my oldest daughter, she's going into sixth grade, which I get it. She has 6 more years of primary school, and she doesn't have to decide now on what she wants to do. But I have already started to prod her of like, what just sounds fun? What sounds like something you would like to spend your time doing? What interests you? And let's start prodding and seeing and exploring and discovering. And anytime we go somewhere cool, like when we were in Disneyland, I started pointing out, I was like, did you realize that this landscape was somebody's job? Like these props were somebody's job? Like people got paid to create this design. She's very arts oriented, so I'm picking out all of the artistic things and I'm like, this was somebody's job. Somebody got paid for this. This was, you know, and it's overwhelming to her, of course. Life is like that. It's just, what do you want? Who do you want to be? If you could be absolutely anyone, who would you be? So right now, as I'm working on this program, I've got this wait list open. And when you sign up for the wait list, you start getting emails from me, yours truly, every other day. And I'm leading my waitlisters through this process of defining who it is they even want to become. There's some really great journal prompts and things in there if you're interested. But even if you don't sign up for the waitlist, which is totally fine, I really invite you to think about this. Who do you want to become? The next month, the next year, the next 5 years, whatever, all of that time is going to pass by anyway. It's all going to pass by. And at the end of it, do you want to just be sitting on the couch being like, how did I get here? Or do you want to be like, look what I just did these last 5 years? Because the time is going to pass anyway. You are going to become anyway. So you can become intentionally, you can become on purpose, or you can just see what happens. And if you're the type of person that just you want to see what happens, then great. I would love for you to do that intentionally. They're like, I'm just letting go of the reins and letting the universe take charge. Great. I love that for you. That freaks me out. I want a little bit more direction on where I go, what I do, how I end up, right? And yeah, that freaks me out a little bit. Universe, what would you like me to do? I mean, I do that, right? I do that with the podcast a lot. I'm like, what would you like me to say? But the thing is I want to be the person who lets the universe speak through me of like, I need a message today. Who needs to hear something? Please speak through me. Please guide me. I'm here. I am available. Let's do this together. Yes. And the person I want to be contributes this way, makes an impact this way. That's who I want to be. And so that guides my decisions, that guides how I show up. That makes the podcast a real priority for me. If I didn't want to be that person, then all of this would fall away. All of this wouldn't even be something that I did. It wouldn't even appeal to me if I didn't want to be that person. It would be like, why would I get onto YouTube? Like, that sounds like a lot of work. And it kind of is, but it's also really fun for me because that's who I want to be. So knowing who you want to become will help guide your decisions, will help you create that path because there are so many options and so many opportunities. And I wonder sometimes like how many opportunities do we just miss because we're not even paying attention? because we're not even realizing that they're open and available to us because we have our heads down in a screen, or we're zoning out because the kids are loud, or what have you. Life is happening, and sometimes we have to disengage. But when you define who it is that you want to become, you tell your brain, you're like, this is actually important to me. So alert me when I've got some opportunities that will help me on my way, and that will happen. I bet, I would assume that if you wanted to become a nurse, you would start seeing all of the billboards for all of the nursing programs, and the people who are entering nursing programs would start to come into your awareness, and you'd be like, I just decided I wanted to do this, and now I've got all of these friends who are doing these things, and like all of this, this lady who I haven't talked to since high school just started a program, blah blah. And it's not really a coincidence that you are just now noticing it. It was you told your brain this was important, and now your brain is bringing you, oh, we're looking for nursing stuff. Let's bring it all in. Let's bring it to your awareness, to your consciousness. But it was around you all the time. Like that billboard probably hasn't changed in 6 months, but you just now saw it because you told your brain it was important. That's really how that works. I think I want to say it's called cognitive awareness, but you know me, I'm not sciencey. You can go look that up. But truly, that is how it works. You tell your brain something is important, and it starts finding things for you all over in your environment and all over in your world. But all of those things were there before. Here's a quick little experiment that you can run. Okay, so for 10 seconds, I want you to look around the space that you're in and notice absolutely everything that's yellow. Maybe look in my background and be like, what are all the things that are yellow? And catalog all of them. Start counting them. I've got those little pom poms. I've got this little sun thing over here. All of the yellow things. You take in all of the yellow things, count them, name them, and now close your eyes and tell me everything that was blue. You likely can't come up with much, but blue is everywhere too. The thing is you told your brain to look for yellow. And so it skipped out on all of the blue. It filtered out everything else except for the yellow because you told it to look for yellow. So here's how this works. You define who you want to become, and then you start looking for those opportunities to be that person. You start looking for the opportunities in your day-to-day life. You start looking for those opportunities out in the world, depending on who you want to become, and depending on like if you need, whatever you need to be that person. You start finding it, you start moving in that direction, and you start to become that person. You create that person intentionally, but it starts down here at the vision, and then you add your will and your belief. Because, of course, you can do all of the work on vision. You can have that desire, but if you believe, yeah, I really honestly can't ever do that, Megan, like that's just not possible for me, then you are absolutely correct. It's so not possible for you. Totally 100% right. But if you choose to be like, I don't know how this is going to happen, but I am so open for miracles, it's not even funny, you'll start to find solutions. I have shared many times my very favorite mantra, I am open to see things differently. I am willing to see things differently. Please guide me. I think I say a little bit different previously, but the sentiment is the same. I'm willing to see things differently. Please help me see things differently. And if you're religious or spiritual or whatever, you can direct that towards God, or you can direct it towards the universe. You can direct it to whatever super being is up your alley. You can even direct it towards like a higher version of yourself. You can be like, look, self, I know you exist because I thought you up. How did you do this? How did you get there? And be open for the direction, be open for the guidance, being open to see things differently, different perspectives, offer different solutions, and then being willing to act on those, of course. I love talking about becoming. And really, the program's about habits, but it's really about becoming. That's like what it really is. But talking about like trying to market this idea of like, I'm going to help you become like what the crap does that even mean, Megan? Like whatever. But habits are so tangible. You understand what I'm talking about. But truly, the whole point is to become intentionally, to become that person. That's why it's not just about any random habit. I'm not talking about, this is not a program for flossing a tooth. It's not a program for reading 5 pages a day. It's not for any of that stuff. It's about discovering what a transformative habit is for you so that you can become the person you want to be. That's the point. The habit is the gateway. Anyways, I am so excited. I am so, so, so excited. Even if the wait list, even if the program, I really hesitate to say this because like I don't want you to get on the wait list if the program isn't interesting to you, but also the wait list is so, so good. Like I've been writing these emails and I'll come out of the room because I've been working in the room and I'll be like, this wait list is so good. Like I can't even believe I told Jake the other day, I was like, okay, me of 2 years ago would like be dying over this wait list. I'd be like, these emails are fire. Like how in the world? So anyway, I'm really excited about the wait list. I'm even more excited about the program, but like even just the wait list is so, so good. So there you have it. If you're interested in the program and the waitlist, there's a link in the show notes. You can go hop on that. But I'm just so excited about it because becoming, it's going to happen anyway, my friend. You may as well pick it out yourself. You may as well do it intentionally. That's what I have for you today. I totally love you. Until next time. Bye for now.